a beginner's guide for the game called Onigiri. My name is Evo. I'm here with my friend Dark. So say what's up, Dark.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hey, all right, cool. So in this stream, we're gonna talk about fighting, combat, attacks. How do you fight and do attacks in the game? The different types of attacks and the different types of skills and special abilities in the game. Okay, so in order to do this episode, we're gonna head outside and do some basic attacks, do some special attacks, and some skill attacks on the various enemies outside. So let's go ahead and go outside. So I'm in the very first town here in Onigashima. So everyone will start out in this town. So let's go ahead and head outside so I can demonstrate some of the attacks and show you how they work, and then show you some special skills. All right. So there are three types of attacks. Like I said, there's the basic attack, which is using the R1 button to perform the basic attack. And you can hold down the R1 to do a combo attack. So if I press it once, as you can see, the little fire thing shows up. And if I press and hold, the longer I hold, the more attacks it's going to execute in the combo. And so I'm going to go ahead and attack this little fuzzball here with my attack. So this is a basic attack. It consumes no energy whatsoever. It's a very um, low attack base because it's just a normal attack that you can perform. All right. So the second type of attack that I'm going to talk about are skilled attacks, and you use a skill attack using the L1 button. Okay, so I'm going to show you that my default button configuration is the default one. So I'm using the very basic default configuration that you can see here. Basic attack is R1, use skill is L1. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the button configuration in the stream. I'll save it for another stream to talk about that. But basically, if I press L1, it's going to execute a skilled attack. And as you can see on the bottom here, each weapon comes with three default skills. So the first one I have selected, that's currently selected, highlighted right now, is called Voice Slash. And then the second one is Empty Sky Slash. And then the third one is Leaping Strike. Now, I'm going to explain more about skills in another stream and go into much more detail about them. But let's just, for the simplicity, let's just say that these are the three skills that I have currently on this weapon, right? If I switch to another weapon, the skill sets change, and then I can use different skills with different weapons. And then to change skills, I want to use the R2 button and the L2 button. So these will allow me to oscillate through the skills. Each skill has a cooldown, so if I use this skill, you can see there's a little timer on it before I can use it again. So each skill has a very different time for when they cool down. So in order to not wait for skills all the time, I can oscillate and I can use a different skill while one skill is cooling down. Now, skills will use something called SP points, which are basically your special points. So you can see that this one uses 20 SP points, this skill uses 34, this skill uses 25. And this is my SP bar here, and it will recover over time. Or I can use an item to regenerate SP. Or I can have somebody cast a spell on me so that I can regenerate SP. But basically I can use L1 and R1 to cycle through my skills, and I can go through and use them that way using the L1 button. Alright, so these are the skills for the sword. The twin swords is equally the same. If I switch to Odachi is the same. The bow, I have various skills for the bow as well. Right, so those are the various skills. Bow skills obviously are range attacks, so they're going to, if I hold down the L1 button, I can see, as I'm holding down the L1 button, I can see a blue bubble around me. That's the radius of the skill that's being used. Because it's a range, I'm using a ranged weapon. I can see that this is how far it's gonna hit the enemy. So anything within that blue bubble that's selected, I can let go of the L1 button, and it's going to go ahead and shoot the enemy with that skill. With the R1 button, it's not going to do that. With the basic weapon, basic attack, it's not going to do that. So I'm going to really have to kind of move my camera around so that I'm facing the enemy itself. But because the skills are special, I can use that technique where I hold down the L1 and it will give me the sphere for where that skill is going to be used. Again, that's going to be mostly for range weapons. As you can see, if I'm using my sword, if I press and the R1, it's going to go ahead and execute that move right away. So I don't have that control over the timing of that. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the two bottom slots here that are currently filled. So a lot of the weapons that you find won't have anything in these skill slots, and these are the specials, very special skills, which are called Ougis. It's short for Ougi, so Ougi, and if you have multiple ones, they're called Ougis, right? It's a Japanese word for something. I don't remember off the top of my head, but each weapon doesn't come with them by default, but you can get cards, Ougi cards, that you can apply to open them up, or you can find special weapons that have certain Ougis on them. Now, I'm going to have Dark use some Ougi skills to show you what it looks like and to show you what it sounds like when somebody is using an Ougi skill. So go ahead, Dark. So that skill right there is called the Ougi Flame Lance. So he's using a fire sword. So go ahead and do some more Flame Lance on some enemies here so people can see. So keep doing some Ougis so that people can listen. As you can tell, like when I use my skills, I don't have that distinct sound, that little chime, if you will. Whenever an Ougi skill is being used, generally you're gonna hear that chime, that um, beginning chime when the skill is being executed. So go ahead and use it a couple more times. There you go. All right, awesome. So Ogi skills are very, very powerful. They are sort of the essence of the weapons, right? Really, the whole goal of powering up your weapons is to have these Ogi skills so that you can demolish your enemies. Um, a lot of people don't even rely on these beginner skills, but as a beginner, it's really important to have these skills, to understand how to use them, and to go through them, so that later on, when you're more of an expert, you will acquire Ougi skill cards, and you can apply Ougi to your weapon to do massive amount of damage. And so, like if you can see, if Dark, go ahead and do an Ougi on that little blue guy right there. Oh.
Oh,
Somebody beat you to it. Go
somebody
ahead and
got
do
it.
another one. Yeah.
I
So as you can see, he's doing about 8 million damage on that skill, so it's really, really powerful, obviously. So yeah, hopefully you find that useful. Just to summarize, there are three types of skills, or I'm sorry, three types of attacks. You have the basic attack with the R1, you have your skill attacks with your L1, and then your L1, L2, and R2 will cycle through your attacks skills here, and then if you have Ougi skills on the bottom, it's going to cycle to the Ougi skills, and then you can use your Ougi skills using the L1 button, and you can demolish enemies using your skills. And the fun of the game is basically to find the skills that you enjoy using, mix and match skills for the purpose that you're fighting, the enemy that you're fighting, and then having some uber powerful Ougi skills that you can then demolish your enemies with, and it looks super cool, and it's really the whole purpose of a lot of us playing this game, which is to look cool and have cool attacks. So yeah, hopefully you found that useful. This will help you understand the different types of attacks out there, and yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll catch you in the next stream. Thanks for watching, and peace.